Well, hello. Ooh, let me make sure that I got this.
Hi,
Hello, everyone. How are you all? I know that you have been missing all of our great conversations, and make sure that you like and share with us. We are Peace Personal Development Production. I almost couldn't say the right words at the present time. But listen, we're here because we believe so much in personal development. How does personal development actually work in your life? Well, one of the ways that we're going to tell you about today is going to be the subject about bad habits. How many of us know that we all have bad habits, and what does that actually look like to us and for us? I know, in my past, that the reason that I was not a instant millionaire is because of my bad habits of not practicing how to save money. Saving money was an important part, but saving money to me was just one of those, if I can save $5, I can be able to save $6. I didn't realize in order to be able to become a millionaire that I had to change my bad habits of what I was doing before. There's so many experiences that we have in our lifetime that really shows us why we did not accomplish a goal. For some of us is, when did we get a chance to graduate from high school or college? Some people go to college for 20 years before they graduate. Some other people can do it in 3. But the habits that we make, whether they're good or they're bad, we have to start looking at that. So I'm going to let, one of my co-partners here, because, let me introduce, Professor Samantha Glass and our mompreneur, Miss Kelly Chiasson. And I want them to, let's talk about bad habits and some of the bad habits that we've actually had that we had to learn how to get away from. And I know which one that the professor is going to talk about, because we laugh about it all the time. So I'm going to start out with Miss Kelly Chiasson, and Kelly, take it from here.
Great day. Happy Wednesday, and fun to be here. PDP. So for those of you catching us live and on the replay, thank you. Habits. This is talking about, bad habits. I like this topic. I love this topic. I'm a huge fan of habits. And the fact that we're all habitual architects, and we can design our environment to work for us. I think one of why this is so fitting in the personal development space is because it's directly correlated to so many aspects of personal development. You can pick any given topic and we can tie it back to habits. And at the end of the day, we're involved here. Certainly Samantha, Lester, and I, and other like-minded individuals that we know, we're invested in personal development ourselves because we're invested in continuing our journey to live out the best versions of ourselves. When we develop strong personal growth habits, it's easy. It makes it easier to live out our values. It makes it easier to cultivate, additional healthy habits, and those habits can be, the relationships you choose to keep in your life, the relationships you choose to move out of your life. All of these decisions, when we reflect on bad habits that are happening in our lives, that choices that we're making, when we are able to reverse bad habits and introduce healthy habits, good habits, growth habits, that gets us just that many steps closer to the life that we envision for ourselves, and living out the person that we feel that we are. I like it. I think it's fair to say, I know, my partner, Lester and Sam can jump in. I know myself, I have not been. Maybe when I was a lot younger, we could reflect on that on a different day, but certainly not in the recent past, and absolutely not now. I do not live under the impression that it doesn't take any effort. So when you hear us come on here and bad habits, we got to get them out, start making good habits, start building good habits, start making different choices. Please don't have the impression that we're saying that it's easy. And I don't think anybody is, because Lester and Sam and I are very clear in that, but I wanted to throw that out there because not too long ago here, like in the last couple months, I found myself in an exchange with a few different people, and a couple of the women in this group were actually talking about this very thing, that in other personal development groups or spaces that they're in where there's like motivational speaking and things like this, everyone's like, oh yeah, just don't think that way, don't just tell yourself how great you are every day, and all of these things that sound so magical and great, and it's easy to get so excited. But in actuality, the reality for a number of individuals, and for these two women, is all the time that they spent attending and plugging into inspirational individuals and inspirational messages that sure made them feel good, but ultimately, after reflecting, that it left them feeling like it was it shouldn't take a lot of effort, like you can just do it. And healthy habits are habits you have to work for them, because you're replacing habits that aren't serving you. So you really are redesigning habitually your entire environment, what you do from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And it's working through that and using other skills and finding tools to help you and support you in your choice of wanting to live as a better version of yourself. So sorry, I'll ramble. I gotta shut up. I want Sam to jump in here, but it's like, there's extremes in any space in life, but it's just understanding we all have habits that are present that would serve us better if we would revisit how it's serving us. And if it isn't, then we need, how do we change that? And just by saying, oh, well, I'm going to change it. Well, that's a start. But what is it, you guys, what do we say? Without a plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? And habits are no different. We have to just change our plans, and we have to make them, put the time in. I don't know. Well, no, I do know.
You do know, and I agree with everything you said. It's not just simple like turning off and on a light switch, right? We're talking about a lifestyle change in some cases. And, it is a really challenging thing to do. Losing weight, going to bed at a specific time every day, not eating before bed, taking time to balance your life, not being negative, right? Taking that word "I can't" out of your vocabulary. Like, we're talking about things that sometimes we don't even know. We're not even aware that we do. I can't do this. I'm too busy. I'm this, I'm that. But if we take the time to kind of listen to ourselves, then we start to notice some of the things that we're doing that are not conducive of a positive habit, right? And you're right what you're saying, Kelly. Like, you can't just say you're going to change it, right? You can't just, like, I can want to change it so bad. That's the first step. But what plan are you putting in place, right? So I remember a long time ago, actually, maybe about 2 years ago. I feel like it's a long time ago, just because I'm all mixed in the time. I actually heard Kelly say something a long time ago, and that had to do with calendars. And since that day, I put everything in a physical calendar. Right? I used to put on my phone. I get confused. I'm like, oh, technology, just every excuse you could find as to why something wasn't working on my phone. And now I have no excuse, because I have it all in here. I know what's happening, when it's happening, and how to book my time very well and prioritize. I've changed a habit, and I've made it to a positive habit where I can use my time more productively. But I'll tell you, there are other habits that I have and we all have, that we always say, oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah, we're always working on it. But we have to just do it. We have to put that plan down on paper. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to get people to hold us accountable. But really the biggest, and that's a bad habit right there. One of the, it's true. One of the biggest habit, I'll call it out, the negative, I can't. That's one for me that it took a very long time to notice that I was doing it. My father used to say to me, Samantha, don't say I can't, say I can. As a child, because I remember in math class, it was just so hard for me to pick up. Like I was having trouble. My dad was tutoring me and I remember crying about it. I remember sitting there with the book, in the living room with my father, and he's trying to explain it to me. But because I had such a negative mindset about it, I would cry and I couldn't focus on getting it right. So I would keep saying to my dad, I can't do it. I can't do it. And my dad would say to me, Samantha, no, it's not I can't. It's I can. And he would continually say that to the point where I could do it. Like, you don't understand. It took me a long time. But I thought that I really just didn't know what I was doing. But I actually did. It was me standing in my way. Right? So this was me as a child, and I took that I can't mentality, that bad habit, followed me into other places. It's like a virus, the negativity comes into every crevice that's available, right? So you can't just change the habit in one space. You need to change the habit in all spaces, or it finds its way back in and it takes over. So I love what you've said here. And I think that, if you don't know how to change it, you need to find someone that can help you figure out how to change it. And that's okay if you don't know. But admitting you don't know is very important. Very, very important. So I don't know, that's the thing that stands out about bad habits. Like, I'm going to use the word hate, but I hate bad habits. We all have them. Just, you have to be aware of them, and it's going to take time to change them. And I'm going to put this question out there because Kelly, I think you answered this before, and I can't remember, but how long does it take to change a bad habit into a good one? Like, how long does it take to create a good habit?
Are you wanting an answer?
Yeah, answer the question. Yeah, it's a great question. I think that people need to know.
I think it's like,
first thing is to acknowledge that you have a bad habit. That's the first thing. The change takes anywhere between 39 and 45 days.
Ooh, that's a long time.
And that's how you can really change. But how many people want to actually change their habits? One of the biggest problems that we had as we're talking about bad habits, and I just knew the professor was going to do this because it's the one that we always talk about, and it's procrastination. I know some of you have never heard that word. What does procrastination mean? I'm going to take my time and go and look it up, and I'll get back to it, and that way I'll know what procrastination means, because I'm too busy right now to go and look it up, so I'll put it off until I can do it. Ooh. See, procrastination in that change, in that thing that you want to do, that's most of ours, when we really talk about our worst habit, that happens to be what it is. Second really bad habit is when you lie to yourself. How many times have you said that you were going to do something? You had every intention to do it someday, and you're still looking on the calendar to find out what day does someday come on. It's the same day as tomorrow. They both show up on the same exact day, but you can't find it because your habits that you have done with putting things off until you can get to them, then you're looking like, oh, wow, you're right. I should have done this. I promise, starting tomorrow, I'm going to change my habits. Starting tomorrow. So what did you just tell yourself? I'm still waiting to change my habit. I'm still waiting to find out what is that bad habit. So when we ask the question, and I really want you all to really, comment in the comment lines here about what does it take for you to change your bad habit, and how long do you think it will actually take for you to really study yourself? Because what is that? Know thy own self, and then we can really look back and say, I got this. I know that I'm ready for the change. I'm expecting change in my life, and I'm not going to do the same things. It's like using the word affirmations. I love affirmations, and people fall in love with affirmations. Tell me, has anybody ever said, I'm sick and I'm tired? Has anybody ever said, every day is just going to be hard for me. Every day is no good. Negative affirmations are as well out there as they are positive affirmations. But what is it that you really want to show the world when it comes down to your affirmations? When you think positively, but do you understand that that takes a practice? But if you don't have a practice of being able to do things a certain way, you're not going to get it. I liked how Samantha says she learned order. How many of us really know what order is? We don't. We know that we got a sheet of paper in front of our hands that says, okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and D tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that I get this plan. I'm going to put away all these things. And yet, when it comes to you, you don't even put away clothes. You don't make up your bed. And yet, you may not think that that's a bad habit. But let the truth be told, it's still a bad habit. Oh, now somebody wants to.
It's okay. It is a bad habit. Lester, oh yeah, it's a terrible habit. I'm just going to piggyback on Lester here for a second. You know, these affirmations, you know, it is so hard, Kelly. I don't know if you agree with this, but it is hard to admit when you are saying something negative and somebody calls you out on it. And then you're like, oh yeah, like you're just kind of like crouching and shrinking because you know you've been caught, but you don't want to tell yourself, but you're doing it, right? Like Lester, what he said about the clothing. Okay, I admit it. Yes, I am that person. I do like to fold clothes. I do. But look, I'll leave it for a few days. I procrastinate. Or I'll say things and then I catch myself. I'm like, why did I just say that? But I've learned to get there because so many people have called me out on things that I felt bad about it and I tried to deny it. But you can't take back what you say. You've said it.
You put it out there.
Yeah, everybody's heard you. So what are you going to do? Say, I never said that.
Oh my God. But there's people that do that. I didn't say that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And Lester will come back. Okay. Yeah. He's connecting. So that's it. People catch you and it is embarrassing when they catch you saying something negative. You can't take it back. So you got to learn from it. Everything we do, we have to learn. If we haven't learned from it, we go through that. What did I say, guys? That looking in the rear view mirror, going backwards syndrome, broken record, right? It's what we always do. We can't. Why do we want to be the same? We want to be better. Back to you, Lester.
But you've said it best. You know, a lot of times the things that we want is the truths that we don't tell about ourselves. We know that we have things that must be done. The question of it is how do we break the bad habits in which we've been doing that's a part of our in our group?
Take we call it curb. Yeah. Out with the garbage.
What we call in this group is what's in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind holds all the mistakes, all the bad habits that you ever had. But when you don't admit that you have them, then you walk into the problem about continuing the cycle of errors. So we want you to think about this as you go along, because you may not think this is as important as we're talking about, but that's the truth about what you have just learned about your own bad habits. You won't admit to them. And if you don't admit to them, how is anyone else going to? I love that, Kelly. You know it's bad when she gets all choked up.
Well, here's the thing is either you're going to surround yourself with individuals that aren't going to tell you what maybe are some things you may want to consider addressing, or you're going to be like, I don't need to listen to that, because the thought of being, taking in that honesty and absorbing it to, internalize it on the real level, keeping shit 100, you're going to choose to surround yourself with individuals that are just going to BS you. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, I don't see that at all, because they're individuals that don't want to hear it either. So it just depends on how serious are you about how you choose to show up. the person you want to be while you're here and how you want to serve those around you while you can. And if that matters, then, you know, choosing people that are just going to tell you what you want to hear over what might be helpful for
Telling
to
you what you want to hear. How many people just tell you what you want to hear? You know that that's a bad habit, right?
People
That's a
can
bad
be bad habits.
People will give you bad habits. So, ladies, final thoughts.
I'm pointing at
Well-
you, Kelly, but you can't tell.
Or, or
Well, I'm your constant companion, and I'm going to be your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. I'm going to push you onward, or I'm going to drag you right on down to failure. I'm at your command. See, half the tasks you're going to do today, tomorrow, and the day after, you might as well give them to me, because I'm going to do them quickly and I'm going to do them correctly. I'm easily managed. I ask that you merely be firm with me. Show me exactly how it is you want something done. And after a few lessons, I'm going to do it automatically. See, I'm a servant of all great people. But remember that I'm the regret of every failure as well. Those who are great, who I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. See, I'm not a machine, but I do work with the precision of one, plus the intelligence of every person it is that you know. Some people want to run me for profit, turn the other way, and I have a good group of people that want to run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. I tell you this, you take me, you train me, you be firm with me. Oh, I'm going to lay the entire world at your feet. But should you choose to take advantage of me and be easy with me, I promise I will do nothing but destroy you. My name is Habit.
habit. Yes. And I'm going to jump in before the professor jumps in. I'm going to say ditto. No, that would be a drop the mic moment.
She said.
You pulled a Kelly, and then there's like nothing after that.
we
Oh.
want you all to do something special. One of the biggest things that we have is one of our habits. We have learned to write down everything. Write down, get in the practice of writing things down. If you have a bad habit of just depending on your memory, well, you won't go very far. So that's my, final thought of the day. Begin to write things down to see what your good habits and bad habits are, so that way you can change them. Professor?
Yes. So I have a Warren Buffett quote, and it says, bad habits are like chains that are too light to feel until they are too heavy to carry.
Ooh, that's deep.
Oh, that's even great for the Your Health is Your Wealth action, Lester. Oh my God. Okay. All of you are
That's
like,
a
I'm not
different
receiving.
show.
We are. I just invited you to another space.
Nice.
But that was nice. Samantha, you're gonna have to put that one in the comment line. We're gonna have to keep that one. And everything, again, we want you to share, like and share and like. Get into a great habit of sharing and liking, especially information that helps you, because it helps someone else too. So thank you very much for joining us. And Kelly, the name of the group is?
PDP, your personal development production scheme. Kelly, Samantha, and Lester.